Hi everybody, it's Elaine here, the Animal Reiki Lady. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. I am coming to you today from the beautiful sunny state of Colorado, and we have a fairly serious subject to talk about today. But for those of you who may not know me, for those of you who may be catching one of my videos for the very first time, my name is Elaine and I'm the Animal Reiki Lady. And I help people build deep personal connections with the animals in their life. And the more and more I practice this, I realize that I actually help, I help people heal their relationships with their animal companions, with their pets. Hang on a second, quick drink. Sorry to do this, but every once in a while, I'm in Colorado where it's very dry. So we have to stay very hydrated. So I have often wondered where this journey is going to take me. I began practicing, just a smidge of background. I became a Reiki master and began practicing Reiki in order to help a family member with a chronic illness. And I always knew deep in my heart that what I really wanted to do was help animals. I wanted to help animals heal and recover from illness, injury, trauma, abuse. And that seem to naturally evolve into helping animals who are transitioning, getting ready to cross to the Rainbow Bridge, animals who are aging, animals who are reaching end of life, animals who have a chronic or terminal illness. And what I have learned through this is that not only are we helping animals to heal, but we're helping animal companions to heal. So now I say that I help people with their relationship with their animal companion, and I help them overcome trauma. And part of that healing process is overcoming the loss of a pet, or when our pet has to cross, or when we are faced with one of the most difficult decisions we ever have to make in our life. And that is, do we choose to assist our animal companion in end of life? And I address these questions often, and I'm a little bit more subdued today because this really is a serious subject. I address these questions often. They're your questions, the things that you post in the comments, the questions that you send to me in all of the private messages are the things that I talk about for you because I want to address the things that are most important to you. And I have had some beautiful experiences and developed some amazing relationships with each of you. As your animals cross, I am often sent little mementos or memorials of animals who have crossed. Just these little things, just as little memories. People send me a piece of their heart is what I consider this. Each one of these things is a piece of an animal's heart and a piece of your heart when you share them with me and allow them to be in my space. And I appreciate that so much, and I thank you for that. Let me set those down. Sorry, let me set those down. Okay, so let's talk about the question that came up yesterday. The question that came up was from a human companion of a cat, and the cat was only 2 years old. The cat was experiencing a very severe illness that was going to require an extensive amount of financial investment in order for the cat to potentially heal, not even guaranteed that it would save the cat's life. And the person reached out to me racked with guilt because the cost of the procedure was 5 figures, okay? So there was lots of zeros behind there. And the procedure was not guaranteed to save the cat, and she was going to have to make the decision to end her cat's life. And so I know you can hear this in my voice, and I know that you feel it as well. The number one thing I want to say is, number one, I do not judge anybody for any decision they ever make. I have also been faced with serious illness of my pets and with the financial investment it takes to care for them. I will not ever judge. So regardless of whatever decision you and your veterinarian and your animal companion reach, and we'll talk about that in a second, I don't ever judge. So please don't hesitate to ask these questions because I answer them from the bottom of my heart. Our animals are our greatest teachers. They have shared with me so much as I have learned to open my heart for them, and that's the information that I share with you now. So when a situation like that arises, in this particular situation, 2-year-old kitty cat, the human companion had already invested a significant amount of money in the health care of the cat. The veterinarian came back with a diagnosis that was very serious and was going to require an extensive amount of surgery that was very, very expensive. Like people would have to take out a second mortgage on their home if they were going to provide this level of care for their cat. There is no judgment there, because there are those who would make that kind of investment, and there are those who cannot make that kind of investment. And just because you do not have the financial means does not mean you shouldn't be a pet owner. Not at all, because animals are here to save us. Animals are here to help us heal. They teach us something, even if it's just how to love, how to share love, how to give love, how to receive love. So that is not even a road that I will go down. But what I will try to do is help release the blame and the guilt. We talk about this a lot because we blame ourselves, we blame our animal, we blame the veterinarian, we blame our job, we blame our parents, we blame our spouse. If we can release that blame and know that you do the very best that you can with what you have from where you are, the decision that you make when it comes to your animals, when it comes to your animal companion's health care, is one between you, yourself, your animal companion, and your veterinarian. I'll tell you right now, I don't know of a single veterinarian on the planet who is in this for the money. So while a procedure may be very expensive, it's not for their personal gain. It would truly be for the benefit of your animal. So, and I know that there are options out there. So if you're in a place where you can make those financial options, then and that's what you're called to do, then go with it. In the case where you are not, where there is no feasible way for you to make that kind of financial commitment, what I recommend is sitting down quietly after speaking with your veterinarian, who will guide you through all the options. Veterinarians are amazing providers for the care of our animals. Let them guide you through all of your decisions and all of your choices, and then sit with your animal companion. Quiet your mind just by taking a few deep breaths and ask them to share with you. Ask them to give you a feeling. Ask them to help you understand. Ask them to forgive you, because they always do. Ask them to help you reach the decision. So there can be a number of decisions. You can go ahead with a procedure. You can perhaps help your animal companion to live in comfort with that chronic illness. You can, of course, assist them in crossing to the other side. And there is nothing wrong with that decision. Even if your animal companion is 2 years old, we are so socially conditioned to think that we should not help our animal companion cross, but that may be the best possible decision for you. Each and every one of these decisions is unique. And then I just thought of something. I want to go down one more road with this. And this is for future. This is not particularly for this situation. We are now seeing in our animals more and more severe health conditions: cancer, autoimmune diseases, chronic conditions, terminal illnesses that were not present in our pets 40 or 50 years ago or before. And I personally believe, as what I've seen and what I see with my own clients and what I've learned from all the animals that I work with, we humans are spending way too much time in stress. We spend 24/7 fight or flight. We are always reacting to some stressor in our life. We wake up stressed, we spend the day stressed, we drive to work stressed, we come home stressed, we go to sleep stressed, and that results in illness. Our animals are natural empaths. They are so connected to us. They are so in tune with our state of mind. When we become overly stressed, our body responds with illness and injury, and they do the same thing. Now that we are living this level of stressed life, they are experiencing the same chronic illnesses, the same stress-related illnesses as human beings. Excuse me. Are they... Little communication block there? Hang tight. I do all these videos live, so you get what you get. Okay, are they trying to share with us that we need to shift something in our own lives? that we need to step out of the stress, that we need to take a step back and learn how to breathe again, learn how to take in the fresh air and live our life and not always be reactive, instead be proactive. And if we can shift that stress in our lives and reduce our own illness and injury related to stress, then we can help them with that same thing. And so I see that mirror effect going on, and I take it as a lesson for us that we need to take a step back from our stress-related lives. And then, let's see, what was the other thing? Oh, to sit with your animal. I want to give you the example of Lucy. So my Lucy crossed last year in August of 2020. She's 13 years old. She was 13 years old when she crossed, and it was in March when she experienced her first real episode when I thought that she was approaching end of life. She was in an almost comatose state. She was not with us. She was laying on the sofa. I had her wrapped in blankets. I made the appointment to take her to the vet in the morning. This had been going on for a few days. I made the appointment to take her to the veterinarian in the morning, but I didn't want her to go. I didn't want it to be her time. And so I reached out to my beautiful community of Reiki practitioners, and I said, please send all the love and light that you can. Let Lucy know that she's loved. Let her know that I honor her choices, because I always do. I recognize that animals have souls. They are individuals. They have unique preferences. All they want to do is be heard and understood. That alone shifts a lot of the illness and injury that we experience with our animals when we begin to see them as individuals and not just as possessions. And so I reached out to everybody and asked them to share as much love and light with her as they possibly could, to let her know she was loved, and if she was ready, then I was willing to honor that. Well, the next day when we got up, she jumped off the sofa. She's 13 years old. She jumped off the sofa. She ran outside. She had the most beautiful, amazing day and the most amazing recovery, because she spent another 6 months with me. And it was in August of 2020, when you couldn't even go into veterinary offices. And so we found a beautiful backyard to have her little ceremony and transition in. It was in August when she finally reached the point with illness and injury and quality of life. And I sat with her. Number one, I have a very good relationship with my veterinarian. I highly suggest that. Create a personal relationship with your veterinarian so that you can speak to them honestly and receive honest feedback about the quality of life of your animal companion and how you can be an active participant in their health care. So I went to my veterinarian, we had the discussion, we knew that it was time. And then I sat with Lucy. And when I say quiet your mind, it's just a conscious awareness. It's for just the briefest minute of time. This is how I do it. I have just as many worries and stressors as you guys do. I take all of that worry and that stress, and I imagine that I put it into a bag just for the minute. I throw up whatever's on my mind. Into the bag. Yep, car payment, into the bag. Forgot to the gym this morning, into the bag. All the work I have to do, into the bag. I take all of that stuff, I put it into the bag, I tie it closed, and in my mind, I imagine that I'm setting it under a beautiful tree, and I just set that bag of worries over there. I let the tree take care of it for the next few minutes, because my entire focus is now on my animal companion, and my entire focus was on Lucy. And I close my eyes. I have no worries. I have no stress. I take in several deep breaths, and I just ask her to share with me a sense of knowing. Ask her to fill my heart with what it is I'm looking for, with whatever answer it is. From Lucy, I received the most beautiful feeling of love, which when we talk about her transition, I'll tell you a little bit more about that too. The most beautiful feeling of love and calm and peace. And I knew she was ready. And when it was time, even when it was time for her to go outside, I had to use a harness, one of those help me up harnesses, because she could no longer walk for her back legs. She could no longer control her bowels. And so when I took the harness out, she looked at me with eyes. Sorry, that's making me a little emotional, but she looked at me with eyes that said, no. She said, Mom, it's time to go. Even after a year, still brings me tears, but that is how you know Set all your stuff aside. Make a moment that is totally focused on your animal companion. Ask them to guide you, and they will. Don't let financial worries be the choice. The choice that you need to make is between you, your animal, and your veterinarian. And know that nobody judges you. No one has the right to judge you. You and your animal companion. That's all that matters. And when that time comes, no matter how much grief you feel, try to set that aside as well. Throw that in the bag, put it over there with the worries. The most important thing is what is best for your animal companion. And then we'll talk another time about what happens after they cross, because when they cross, they immediately go into pure positive love. And one of the reasons why they are such amazing teachers for us is because they can't lie, they can't be dishonest, they can't do anything but be themselves. They're so pure and so true, and all they want to do is love and be loved. So that's my answer for that right now. I think that I've covered everything that I want to cover. I've always wondered where this is going to draw me, why I am drawn to working with animals who are ready to transition. And now I understand. It is to help people heal, and to help people create the most amazing relationship they possibly can with their animal companion. Thank you for joining me. I love you guys. Take care. I will talk to you again soon. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. May the animals light your way. Take care.